gosh, I shouldn't say this in public. I know, so just judge me. But I'm trying to share something. So I had a ton of cash in my pocket because I was gonna pay a body shop, a guy that fixes stuff, cash under the table. I was gonna pay him cash, and he wasn't there. So I had quite a wad.
Because he keeps good records and he reports everything done manually with this.
And I don't know where he works. I don't know his full name.
Right.
Definitely don't know his EIN number.
Yeah.
But so I'm like, here, let me help you. And I pulled a wad of substantial for somebody in that situation and just hand it to her.
Hey, Daniel, would you give me a picture that is a little bit Mormon? More Mormon. Make it more. Make it more Mormon. Little bit more. Just a teach more. Yeah, more.
All right. Welcome to the Extra Mo Show.
Faux show.
Faux show. We're having a good time doing the Extra Mo Show. We appreciate feedback, messages, texts we've gotten from people that are getting something out of it. We did get a little feedback that wasn't flattering, and that's okay. We're not for everybody. Right?
I would say the majority of people.
Yeah.
Not for 'em.
Again, we would do this if we weren't even publishing these videos. We get a lot out of just getting together and talking about the gospel. We're not academics. We're not experts. You already know that if you've watched it. We're just dudes that like to talk for real. And people who want to, just rap about stuff with the guys. This is the show for you. And please comment, like, subscribe, whatever on YouTube. And eventually we'll figure out what all you youngsters know and get this on Spotify and all that other stuff. I've had some requests for Spotify. Actually.
On the internet.
Oh, is it the internet? It's not the World Wide
You
Web
put it
anymore?
on the internet.
AOL went down.
Did it?
Today was the last day for AOL, I read.
Dang.
There were still dial-up subscribers.
That is so wild.
AOL.
Dang.
I remember those discs coming all the time.
Did everyone just have the song go through your mind?
Nostalgia. I don't remember the
What are
song.
the sound
Oh,
for...
the sound. Yeah, yeah, the dial-up.
Internet?
Yeah. I'm bad at sound effects.
I remember we got DSL, and I was like, "Wow, this is so fast!" And it's like,
This is amazing. We're rich. Mom and Dad dropped for real internet.
you'll have to Google what DSL is. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah, kids didn't have as bad a pornography addictions back then because the images took too long to upload. So it was like, deet, deet.
it just loads slowly.
And they're like, okay, that's her hair. Oh, Mom's coming. Yeah.
I remember I remember the first meme I saw. It was, do you remember the one where the monkey's sitting on the log, and then it kind of like takes his finger and it like itches its own butt, and then it comes up and it like smells its own finger, and it smells so bad it flips its head back, and then it falls out of the tree.
No.
Anyway, I still remember it. That
I
was
saw
like
that happen at the San Diego
it's
Zoo,
like
though.
one of the
remember
original
that
memes. But like you said, is like my friend says, you got to look at this meme, and he sent it to me, and I clicked on it, and it was like, okay, in 7 minutes we could watch this little video.
Yeah, well,
And we're just like waiting, and then I would click it, and I'd laugh at it, and then
Yeah.
I'd play it again because you want to watch it a few times because you already spent 7 minutes downloading it. So then now you just can click and play it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a funny meme. You should look that one up. It's so
That
it
sounds-
stands the test of time.
I'm sure I'll remember it. But yeah, so anyway, that was an interesting thing. But I had a pretty cool experience. There's a couple topics I want to talk about that aren't even necessarily doctrinal. They're just stuff that I think I'd like your input, Travis, and just kind of talk to you about some of these things.
I will give my opinion,
First off,
my uneducated opinion.
well, there's probably no right or wrong. I mean, sure there is like a most right answer to some of this, but one of the things that's been on my mind lately is I want to be, I live my life wanting to make a difference, wanting to inspire, wanting to, and I fall short all the time. I get it, but one of the struggles that I have right now is there's a common, complaint among the young people in their mid, under 30 crowd, right?
Okay.
18 to 30 crowd, and that is like and I just see it all over the internet and, talking points on social media or whatever. And it's about how they got gypped. And
I can't say gypped, but yes.
oh, what does gypped mean? Is it?
It's about a group of people.
Oh,
So we don't want to say that anymore.
okay. They got
I'm censoring this before we get. No. Just they
got,
the short end of the stick.
yeah, and they're like the boomers had it so easy. Mm-hmm. And I think our age group's kind of got a unique perspective because we're still in the tail end of the building phase at our age.
Yeah.
But we got to see what our grandparents did. And my comment, I want to help these kids feel more less discouraged. I want them to feel encouraged about the time they live.
One thing the boomers did have that they were really lucky about is they were raised by trauma-stricken people that went through the World War II and the Korean War and would just take out all their trauma in physical ways with them. Beat the tar out of them.
I get that.
Lucky
and maybe
boomers.
that's something we'll address. But the thing I want to talk about is if I had to start over, and I believe this,
Okay.
if I had to be 21 years old, 22 years old, starting a life at any time that I've been alive, or my parents, or my grandparents, I think it would be today.
Why is that?
I just feel like, especially with the government being so irresponsible and all the money that's been printed, I feel like more now than ever, there's opportunity. Now, and maybe I'm wrong, but from what I'm seeing in the business world, I recently was involved with a startup. In 1950, you guys that are like the boomers were spoiled. If you took a business idea to one of the few investors that even existed, it was called a bank. It wasn't some rich dude,
And it was for sure a loan.
Yeah, and it was a loan, and it was like, yeah, they'd still take half your company, but you didn't get to go into an investor in the 50s, 60s, 70s, or 80s, or even 90s, and go, we're losing $200,000 a month, but it's a good idea, and someone's like, all right, we'll invest $10 million. It just didn't happen, and so it's like, for people that aren't looking for a blue collar job, for people that want the American dream and that want to be a self-accomplished person, I just believe now's better than ever. There's money floating around. Guys, I know girls that aren't even smart that are 25, they're making $200,000 a year taking pictures.
Elaborate on that.
They're just photographers.
They're
they're
actually
just
the
photographers. You don't go back to 1950 and go, for $200, we'll take your son's graduation picture, equivalent money back then. And they're like, okay. They're like, dude, what?
I just had a guy come by my house, and a lot of times it's about timing, and a lot of times it's about whatever. And he had worked for a pest control company. He's like, I could do this. So he went out, bought himself a couple stickers, threw them on his truck.
Learned how to use the chemicals.
Nick's Pest Control, for what it's worth. And he charges me a recurring fee every month to make sure that I think we have 6 traps.
$30?
It's like $30 a month, or something like that. Yeah. And I was like, so then I was his first customer on his first day. Maybe I was the second one, but it was his first day, and he got a sale with me.
Yeah, cool.
Well, I asked him when he came back to refill him once. I'm like, how's it going? He's like, yeah, dude, we have like 100, 150 clients. I'm going to hire a tech now.
And how long ago was that?
It was less than 45 days.
Guys, this guy's gonna have 1,000 clients soon, paying him 30. He's gonna be making $30,000 a month,
right?
While the rest of you are on the internet about how hard your life is because rents are high.
And this guy's name is River.
I mean, that's an advantage. That's a cool name. I'd probably buy anything from a guy named River.
I was just thinking he'd be like, sitting in Santa Barbara, like rubbing crystals, but he's out there freaking hustling, and he was really short too. I'm just saying.
I get it. I get bills are high, guys. I'm not being. I don't lack sympathy, right? But I just look at my kids. I have an adult son who's married. They work regular jobs. They both make $4,000. That's $8,000. That's $96,000 a year. And okay, you can get a 2-bedroom apartment in Orem for $1,300 if you're not picky, and it doesn't have to be brand new and have a gym and its own little, theater and all the stuff that everyone thinks they're entitled to. And dude, if you can't live on $96,000 a year, and your rent's for $1,300, I got bad news for you guys. You are screwed.
Yeah.
But you know, dude, even growing up in the 80s, dude, we went out to eat like one time a month. If you added up every time me, Ann, and my kids went out to eat this month, it's like 100 times. It's like 2 meals a day each, maybe even the third.
A girl I work with
Yes.
goes to Beans and Brew every day, and it's like between $8 to $13
Every day.
every day.
Doesn't give a crap. That's $300 and something a month.
I was like, wow.
Beans, and not to mention her lunch trip. Hey, guys, what I'm saying is like, I just feel like I want to do something to combat this narrative that you're a victim. And for some, I feel like Satan's behind it. I feel like this, it's too hard for you now. You might as well give up narrative is growing. And I think it's because you grew up with such ease. Like none of you, I'm sorry, if you're under 30, what's the hardest thing that ever happened to you? Someone bullied you verbally?
Now, what do you say to this, Glenn? That housing costs are higher relative to wages. Like that's true.
Okay, but but the wages are still just crazy high. I just sold a car to a kid who's 18 years old.
Okay.
He just got his first job. $17.50 an hour at In-N-Out Burger. Now I get what you're saying, guys. Well, rents are high. Guys, you still had to get money
That's
back.
like $35,000 a year, right? 1750.
Something like that, right?
40,000, maybe if overtime.
To make hamburgers.
Yeah.
This isn't a brains, and guys, he's not complaining. He just came in and bought a car with a half down payment from his burger job. And I'm like, guys, I just think like maybe you grew up so easy that as soon as there's some adversity,
Well,
you're
I
like,
think there's some sort of thinking too that the boomers or maybe my Gen X, like our generation, that we like graduated high school and then bought a home. And
Yeah,
that just wasn't the case.
no one did that. Like
No.
you're all like, and the one I'm seeing everyone talk about, minimum wage in 1955 was this, and the average house was this. Minimum wage today is this, and the average house is this. Yeah, minimum wage today is $7.25. I just told you a kid got his first job at $17.50. So don't play the, guys, don't fall. I want to get out and kind of do some kind of like, I don't know, awareness to these kids. The world is yours for the taking right now.
Yeah.
There's opportunity everywhere. Dude, I have a guy that barely speaks English. For you guys who are like, it's hard. It's too hard. This dude doesn't speak English. Glenn, I've gotten pretty good at detailing cars. Do you need a detailer?
That's English, Glenn. What does he say?
En español.
Okay.
Oh, Glenn, yo puedo limpiar los carros.
Okay.
Yo tengo todos los herramientas y todo eso.
Okay, that sounds better.
Okay. And so I'm like, yeah, cool. You can do it. If you give me all your cars, I'll do it for this. Okay. Well, guys, I pay him. He makes about $3,000 a month
Just from your lot.
just from my lot, and he has 3 lots.
Okay.
So you're disadvantaged because in the 50s, the boomers, wages were this and houses were this. And I'm telling you, there's a guy that doesn't speak English who's probably taking home $9,000 a month cleaning cars. Well, let me tell you something. Before this guy, his name's Cristobal, came asking for that job, guess how many white kids I offered that job to over the last year?
2.
Like 20. And it's hot. Glenn, it's hot. You don't have a garage for that? It's hot. Yeah, I know.
I'm
It's-
white. Can
it's-
I do that?
It's hot. Yeah. You need a compressor. Dude, this guy spent $500 on tools. Makes $9,000. So it's like, guys, in the 50s, a boomer couldn't just go around to car lots and make the equivalent. I get rents are $600 more than they were 2 years ago, but you don't need to speak English to make $100,000 a year right now. So it's not. I'm just telling you, don't fall for it. I wanted to pick your brain. It's bugging me. I don't want discouragement being the. Look, if you're willing to get out, and this is the difference. Our grandparents worked these jobs that these kids are like, your grandparents had jobs with this. You wouldn't even take those freaking jobs today that our grandparents did. Back-breaking work, dude. Like real work. Those jobs, Anyway, what do you think? What do you got? What do you think about this, Travis? What's
I'm going to take the side of maybe just pointing out some valid reasons. What they say has some validity, and then maybe the conversation can be more about how that's like the most dangerous place to be, where there's.
Yes, I want to get into some spiritual aspects
Yeah.
of the psyche.
I think that, you know, I don't necessarily disagree. However, you know, it is pretty dang expensive out there, and housing is a lot. I think that there's a lot of things that have contributed to that. There's dual incomes all over the place now, and because there's dual incomes, then everything can go up in price because people technically can spend some more money, right? And that's raised. It isn't just housing that's up. I mean, I will say
Things
this,
are expensive,
like
yeah.
4 years,
Groceries.
4 years ago, we were spending about $1,100 a month on groceries. We're like $2,000 a month on groceries now. So I mean, I kind of get it where this now. I do see a lot of disposable choice spending. You know, you look at the restaurant industry; it's doing pretty well. I mean, fast food's doing really well.
Only because every time I want to go sit down in a restaurant, there's a wait.
Right.
They're all struggling so bad that I have to wait, and I don't want to wait.
Yeah. I think that I could totally see both sides. I've gone through a time in my life where we've had to. My wife has never worked. Now, when I say never worked, she works really hard, raising kids and all that jazz. She's never had a paying. Not never. She's had a few part-time jobs here and there.
Yeah.
And so we've had some times where it's like we had to make a conscious decision, right, to not have some of those things in life, you know. And like she sorts donations, so she gathers clothes that people don't want. She sorts them for the Foster Care Foundation, and then we kind of cherry pick some of those clothes off for our kids. Well, it saves us probably $1,500 to $2,000 a year, and it's like, well, but Travis, that's only $2,000 a year, you know.
That's how everyone says it, right?
Right.
Well, you tell us the problem is that we get our Starbucks every morning.
My favorite, one of my favorite times in our marriage, actually. Here's okay. So I got distracted a little bit. So I do think there's some valid things, but the solution is kind of fun if you get into it. So I remember when we first adopted our children. We had gone from 4 kids to 7 kids, and I was working at a credit union, which credit unions are great, but they don't pay a ton.
Yeah.
And I had good insurance, good benefits, all that stuff, and I was able to make my basics. But like, if we wanted like anything besides like gruel, we had to like figure it out. So my wife got us into reffing basketball, and she still to this day refs basketball. But we'd go out and we'd actually go and ref a basketball game together, so we could both earn money. I remember we'd both make $30, so it was like $60
a game.
a game. We were running, so I was in better shape. She would actually get in really good shape because she did a lot of games. She got good enough at it though, where she was making $6,000-7,000 a month. So then, or a year. So, but then you start adding this up. It's like
You save $2,000 on the clothes.
$2,000 on
You
the
made
clothes,
$6,000, $7,000.
$7,000 here, and you add it to I think I was making like $65,000 or something. Well, all of a sudden we were able to do like we could go to Oregon to see our family, and we could do little things like that. And we could go out to eat. We'd go to Chuckarama all the time, right? You actually can't go to Chuckarama. Sorry, you are way too expensive now.
I took my family to Chuckarama. It was like $130.
It's like I'm like,
yeah.
What happened to that being a good deal? I'd rather take them to like via 313 or something. But anyway, but the solution is kind of fun, Glenn. I think that you're right, where it's like, all right, how can I get creative and go out and make a few extra bucks here and there? And I know it's hard, but I honestly think that the alternative that we're looking for is like this arrival at some place where we view our grandparents, where they don't have to work anymore.
Yeah, it's like...
Guess what? Newsflash, they hate that.
They were not spoiled.
But they also hate it.
Dude, you live better. You know, okay, so your 80-year-old grandpa is in a paid-off house because he only had to pay $13,000 for it. You live better now than he did in that house.
Yeah.
They had one TV that was this big.
Yeah. And it was like $1,000.
Yeah.
Which would be like $5,000 now.
Yeah. Their morning coffee was only $1. Well, if you want coffee, 7-Eleven still got coffee for $1. You know, it's like guys like.
And that coffee's probably better than the coffee they were drinking.
Right, than they were drinking, right? And so it's like you act like these people had it easy, and it's like, no, dude, we have it easy. And but I feel like it's almost evil, this you're a victim. Let's all commiserate online about how hard it is.
Here-
Instead of looking for the positives in it. Again, I think if I had to start over at any time, I'd do it. Dude, there's more opportunity for young people today than when I was a young entrepreneur. And guys, I did weird stuff to make money. I
Really weird. We won't go into it.
Well, those truck stops. No, so it's like, I remember I couldn't get a regular job because I'm like, no. And guys, I got offered good jobs. I was a talented kid. So in the 90s, my friends were making $9 an hour. I did get jobs for $15 an hour, 17, 20. It wasn't enough. I'm like, no, I can be entrepreneurial and come up with something like that. And so back then I do remember me and this other guy started some discount cards. So we went around to some businesses and we're like, hey, if you guys want to make an offer on here to bring you more customers. And it took us a month to set up. We got these businesses, set up all these discount cards. And then we had a little portion of it he set up. Turned out he was dishonest. He set up a portion of the proceeds would go to the Humane Society, right? But anyway, we were making $200 a night in the 90s selling discount cards. He never gave any money to the Humane Society, I found out.
Yeah.
That was the last time I did.
Humane Society was what he named his other account.
Yeah, probably. I don't know what he was doing to that. But guys, we're going out to work for 2 hours making $200 in the 90s. And it's like, there's more opportunity for stuff like that now than there's ever
Well, Glenn, I'll talk about you one time. Something that I think about sometimes when I'm out grinding, and you all of a sudden, Glenn's pretty sporadic.
Yeah.
And he's like, and so we'd have these regular Denny's conversations, and I don't remember what you were doing. You were doing something pretty regular. And then the next Denny's dinner, you told me, I just bought a carpet cleaning van, and I'm going door to door.
Yeah.
And Glenn's an adult human, like he's not in his 20s, he's got a family, and he'd go to door. What were you making? But then you told me what you were making.
Guys, there was never a day that I went out for less than, okay, sorry, how am I wording this? So if I went out for at least 5 hours, there was never a day I didn't sell $1,000 in profit. So $20,000 doing
$200 an hour.
Yeah, it's only $200 an hour. So it's like, guys, but again,
it was hard.
Well, we don't want to do that. Well, then stop complaining.
Yeah.
Like if and these people are like, it's like the narrative now is there's all these billionaires, they don't pay their fair share, and now we're all hurting. Guys, like I don't know how to break this to you. I'm gonna leave political parties out of it because they're all just as guilty about this. The government spent $7 trillion last year. Okay, so like if you count to 1 million, it would take you 10 days, 11 days. If you count to 1 billion, it'd take you 32 years. If you count to 1 trillion, it would take you 32,000 years to count 1 trillion seconds. Okay, they spent $7 trillion.
I think it's more than that. Even.
How much money helped poor people? So I don't know how to break this to you. It's not the billionaire's fault your life is hard. Like if we taxed billionaires 100%, if we literally confiscated Warren Buffett, Elon Musk, and again, this isn't to get to political. I want you to understand that you're not a victim of wealthy people. If we took everything they had, guys, we could run the government for 8 months. If we took everything they had. So it's not billionaires' faults. And I'm just seeing these topics floating around like, yeah, that's why it's so hard for us, because the billionaires are hoarding all the resources. They're not even resources, guys. They're shares. These guys don't have $300 billion in checking. It's not like they're hoarding cash, and I want you to know that even if the government spent $20 trillion, the track record is they wouldn't be spending it on you. Poor people have been voting for free stuff forever. They're still poor. Like the mindset is the cancer, is the disease. And I'm seeing more and more of the mindset be, you're a victim of where we are as a society. You poor 20-year-olds will never own a home. Guys, if you scratched your head together and got disciplined, let me tell you about a sale. I made a door-to-door sale once for an alarm system. It's funny, I actually started doing door-to-door alarms the same time the guy that started Vivint did. It tells you how talented I am.
Yeah, you really nailed it.
He's a billionaire, and I ended up cleaning people's carpets.
Yeah.
Okay, but my point is this. I knocked on a door to a Latino family, and they're like, actually, yeah, we are interested. Please come in. And I'm like, okay. I go in. Guys, it's a decent house. It was in Taylorsville or something. There's no couch. There's a couple bean bags. It looks like a chair, like a lawn chair in the living room. There's mattresses in the bedrooms because I have to go figure out how to arm the windows and everything. And it was like the kids lived there with their adult parents, and one of the kids was married. So this is 5-bedroom, 3-bath house type thing, built in the 80s. Yeah, we're just about to get furniture, and it's probably time that we do something to protect what we've worked so hard for. And I'm like, okay, how long have you lived here? 6 years. Well, you don't have any furniture. What's going on, guys? Are you doing okay? Yeah, we swore we wouldn't buy anything until we paid our house off. So there you go. There's some people that were not victims of anything. They all worked full time and didn't buy anything until their house was paid off. Now they're going to go get a couch. Now they're going to get beds. Now, guys, it's a different mindset. I go into these college kids' apartments to visit my kids. They're living better than me in these dorms and stuff. We pay $500 a month just for this room. Dude, this room looks like a king suite. Like, you live in like royalty in here. I just think there's a lot of perception going on. And again, I keep going back to this. I think you were raised too easy to where you think now your generation, and please correct me here. I want to know where.
Well, you just sound like an old man.
Let me finish this. This is the first time we've seen
5
something
minutes.
be hard. This is the first time. Guys, the first hard thing you're running into is not that hard. Stop buying crap.
So Glenn,
Yeah.
just a thought here. It kind of sounds like you're the rancher, you know how to kill the cow and slaughter it and all that stuff, and you're talking to people that go to the store to buy a hamburger, right? Mm-hmm. So you know how to do this. What they're struggling with, or I think where a lot of people are having an issue is, how do I go and turn that cow into hamburger, right, to feed my kids or whatnot? Or another way of putting it would be, you've been taught how to fish, they've been given the fish.
So they're kind of good point.
I think we're kind of to blame, Glenn. You and me, and here's why.
Yeah.
I've really tried very hard to not let my kids struggle with some of the things I had to struggle with. Like, I wanted to have certain kinds of clothes when I was growing up, and I couldn't have them.
Gerbos?
Yeah, sure. But I wanted certain things, and I'm not complaining about my childhood either. I can remember people sacrificing. My parents sacrificed so I could have my basketball shoes, etc. I got a Letterman's jacket, so I'm not complaining. But
Do you remember how much that Letterman's jacket? That was a sacrifice.
It was like
dude.
$130.
They were like
bucks,
$100
but it was like
dollars
real
back then.
money.
That was a lot of money.
Yeah. But I would say this then. So then me and especially my wife has really, we don't want them to feel that hurt that we think we felt or something.
Yeah.
And I was talking to someone today about it, and it's like, I feel like perhaps I've robbed them of an experience that would allow them to push through hard times, right? And so I get your sentiment.
So they're hit. You're saying they're hit with this new hardship, and for us it would be easy to overcome. For them, it seems insurmountable.
Have you seen Harry Potter?
No.
You haven't.
I saw the one with the big spider.
Do you remember what a howler is?
Yeah.
Anybody? So a howler,
So like a Karen?
A howler, you get no, but you get delivered a message, and the message is going to it actually yells at you, and the longer you avoid the message, the louder it gets. So it's just a metaphor of if you put something off,
Yeah.
if you hide from a problem, that problem will get bigger. And I feel like that's kind of what we've done is we've taken this kind of high stakes moment, and instead of letting them experience when it's low stakes while they're at home, let's say, hey, you have to sacrifice or you can't go to that camp, you can't do that thing, you can't have those shoes, and it's not that big a deal, and it might really hurt their young mind, because why are my parents so unfair, et cetera, et cetera. But it's really low stakes in the big scheme. And then now they get into this world where they're on their own, or they're just married, and they're having to have their first experience with this sacrifice be at a higher stake moment. And so it probably is harder than where we dealt with things at a
To
younger
us, it was
age.
like, oh, here's a challenge. Let's go get it.
Yeah, 'cause we've
And to
already
them,
done
they're
it.
like, wait, I have to get way outside of a comfort zone. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I have to get way outside of a comfort zone to make this happen.
To go to this basketball camp, I had to go. This is a true story. I had to go break concrete with a sledgehammer, and it
like
sucked.
in Rambo 2, I think. You just
Yeah,
had to do that.
and I'd break it and it would crack. Then I'd pick up these huge things, put them in a wheelbarrow, and carry it around back to this house, and it sucked,
And that paid you what?
dude. Don't even- It was 25 bucks, and it was 2 days.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Hey, you guys had it easy.
And
Anyway.
but I will say, even then, my dad was like, I don't remember what it was. It was like $100 for the camp, so I had to earn 25 bucks.
Yeah.
But I mean, I freaking
By
earned
doing
it.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But my point is like I'm like the whole time I'm like this sucks, and my friends don't have to do it. But I've thought about that later in life when I've had to do other things, right?
Hard crap,
Hard
yeah.
stuff, and it's like, well, if I was able to break that concrete and blah blah. Well, my kids really haven't had to do that.
Yeah.
Now I have good kids. Don't get me wrong.
I love your kids.
But they're having to maybe experience some of this pain
Yeah.
now. And now it's been exasperated because I do think things are more expensive.
Yeah.
know-
Well, yeah, but I know. And again,
I see what you're saying, but, like,
guys,
because-
things are more expensive and you don't need 90% of those things. That's the point I'm trying to make. Like if you kids stay out of
Mm-hmm.
debt, you young people, stop buying crap. You know, that kid shouldn't have come in and bought a car on loan.
I will say, me and my wife still talk about it. We got married and we went to McDonald's on a date once, and we got a shake and one large fry.
Dollar.
And it was, I don't remember what it was, but we split it. Now, did
She
we?
was
did,
like,
did we
I'm the
split it
luckiest
50-50?
woman alive.
No,
He gave me a
I honestly
fry
ate most of it.
and 2
Yeah.
bites of this shit.
You can lick out the inside of this box.
You could get the rest. Yeah.
But my point is, it's like that was a cool memory for us, and I think I've robbed that a little bit of.
I guarantee I did. I did make my kids.
So
do,
what you're saying is true. I guess what I'm saying is your rant is correct. However, also,
But how do we get the young people to adopt the correctness? My kids, I think, are ahead because I made them do hard crap. Like I saw this problem developing amongst their friends. Riley was 11 when I made him work all summer. I could have given him more money, but I didn't want to. I wanted him to earn this thing he wanted, and it was a battery-powered go-kart.
yeah.
And he's like, Dad, I want that. And I could, okay, dude, you're going to come on carpet jobs with me. You're going to drag the hoses. He worked for 2 months. Like hard. He's 12, 11,
Yeah.
10, something like that. He buys the thing. A week later, he plugs the battery in too long and ruins it. The battery costs as much as the thing. It's like $100. Dude, more than anything, I wanted to just buy him the battery.
He had already earned it.
I didn't buy it.
You didn't do it.
I said, dude, you got to earn it again.
All right.
And it's like stuff like that. I don't know. I think that, I did that with my kids. I think it's helped them, but they still, I feel like there's
Can I sum it up?
maybe. Are we at the,
Yep.
we need to keep going on this. I feel like we need to keep going on this for a few minutes. So we'll do 2 episodes instead of the.
Okay.
Is
Let
that-
me
is
sum
that-
up what I think I've heard so far, so you can course correct if you need to.
Okay.
So things are a little bit harder.
Yeah.
However, some of those things that are making things more expensive, it's becoming, or a lot of things are being complained about, actually are coming from an overabundance of, if you're talking physically, money, there's supply, there's opportunity out there. And then, like Mike brought up, is like, all right, if you work hard, if you do some of the things that you don't want to do, if you struggle, and then you control some of your spending on things that you don't need, there's a lot of opportunity right now to get ahead. And I would maybe add too, if you're looking at like your neighbors, do things they aren't willing to do, and that's how you will get ahead of them.
Dude, thank you. You kids, like I just told you, a guy that doesn't speak English is making $9,000. Now, I've detailed my own cars before. It's grueling work. It's hard. But I got pretty good where I could detail a car in 2.5 hours for $140. I mean, he's pumping them out. That dude is dripping sweat out there. He's getting his rag wet, tying it around his head. Some of you millennials, dude, just literally watch some YouTube videos on, not millennials, I don't know what you even are now. Young people.
The millennials are old now.
Yeah, whatever you guys are.
Daniel, you're a millennial.
Dude, watch a YouTube video.
Are you a millennial?
No, I'm a
You're just barely not.
Gen X.
Watch a YouTube
Oh, you're
video.
just barely sneaking in.
I'm a
Yeah.
millennial and I'm 38.
Yep. Okay.
Learn how to detail some cars. I just told you that guy found 3 dealers in like a month, and go get 1 dealer. And what would 15 cars a month do for your income? Well, it's $2,000. There's your house payment. There you go, guys. You can now afford a house.
You're talking about improving yourself too, like learning how to detail the skill. We had a paintless dent guy come out. What a lifestyle!
Dude, my paintless dent guy makes $500,000 a year.
Yes, the paintless dent guys.
He's on my lot for an hour and hands me a bill for $650. And he's like, off to the next one.
Yep, yeah, the painless dent. Yeah, but there's little skills like this that we don't think about that can be very lucrative, and so.
So maybe turn off Netflix and start looking. What are some skills?
what happens
Go around
on
and talk to people about opportunity.
Stranger Things?
Dig I think what we could do to help you, because here, one of two things is happening. You're young and listening to this and you're pissed. Those old guys don't know anything. They don't know how hard it is. $6 Starbucks. They don't even know.
I thought it was a vape pen.
The vaping. Yeah, how much is that crap? Like,
well, I will say this.
So
Here's my empathy that I'm going to say, and I'm going to.
let me finish.
Okay.
One of two things. One, you're pissed.
Okay.
Or two, you're like, well, where do I find these opportunities?
Okay.
And so
Come see Glenn.
What I would say to talk to you is stop being comfortable. You've been comfortable too long. Whether it's your parents' fault, my fault to my kids, or whatever, you've been comfortable too long. If you haven't sweat, been in pain, you're probably missing the boat.
Yeah. I would say this too, Glenn. Like I'm being serious about it too. Like Glenn's down here. If you come bug him, he'll give you some ideas where to go find some money.
I'll talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Yes.
Number two, doing hard things is such a major thing. It's like a brag about my son. I'm so proud of him. But he came off his Mish. He went and did a call center situation, and he's like a social, like it drains him.
Yeah.
And then he just got so he's like, I can't do that. And this is kind of going the opposite. However, he didn't then retire. He's like, well, what can I do? Opportunity came up for him to coach swim, which he was a swimmer, and he became the head coach of Lehigh High School. And I was really proud of him.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. So he had this flexible job.
Put himself out.
Yeah. So he's able to pay for all his own schooling.
Yes.
He's able to, he bought himself a little, dude, you'll love this. He's on KSL or Facebook. Do you remember the Mitsubishi Mighty Max?
Yeah. Trucks.
He bought the Dodge Ram version of it.
Yeah, I remember that.
For $1,000. He's going to change the timing chain tomorrow and whatever. He's going to sell it. He'll probably sell it for like $3,000. And he's doing it strictly so he can take $1,000 that he has from his swim job and turn it into $3,000.
There you go.
And then he wants to take that and he's going to buy like Coca-Cola and a bunch of other stocks that he does.
Yes.
And it's like, yeah, that's the way you do it.
Guys, like, I'm just saying for you young people sitting around and complaining in life about the situation you're in, whether you're a victim or not, like, is never going to help you. Like, if you want to have there is a successful life out there for those that are willing to go grab it. My kids were a little overwhelmed going into adulthood, and I told them, guys, you don't get it. When I was your age, there was a lot of competition for the good jobs, meaning out of the 10 people that interviewed, all 10 of them were going to show up on time, not call in sick day 2, and stay till after the bell. Nowadays, if you guys just show up with your hair combed, you're probably going to get a promotion within 60 days. Like, and you show up on time or gosh, early, stay 10 minutes late, ask your boss before you leave. Is there anything I can do for you before I leave?
Here's something I'm guilty of that I think they're guilty of, everyone who's complaining, and that is this phone. Being on socials.
Cancer.
First of all, it's a dopamine addiction that kind of demotivates you from doing other things. And second of all, you're looking at things that make you compare yourself to everyone else's best version of themselves.
And hey, I hate to tell you this. There's a lot of people making 300, 400, 500,000, 600, 700, $1 million a year. A lot of them. They're all at restaurants and everything else. And you young kids are like, gosh, I'm never going to be able to do that. No kidding. You're never going to make $800,000 a year, probably, most of you.
What are you talking about? They make 300, 400 grand doing what?
Like, dude, there's just, I'm telling you, man.
Who are they?
I personally know hundreds of people that make over $250,000.
Okay, what do you mean, though? They're at restaurants. What did you mean by that?
What I mean is they're all out and about and they're on social media and you're seeing their lives.
Okay.
You young people are seeing those lives and you're thinking that that's where you need to get. And therefore, you're discouraged. Like, that's never going to be me. Guys, for 98% of you, you're absolutely right. That is never going to be you, and that's okay. So I'm not saying settle for mediocrity.
It's not even most of them. You're literally seeing the highlight of their day.
Yeah.
That's why they took a picture of it.
That's why they did it.
They didn't know what he's been like. You know, that was a mediocre experience. Snap.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know my kids look at our life and they think they're going to have that. And I'm like, you're not.
You're never going to
You're
have
not
a
going to
covered
have
patio like this.
I'm sorry. You'll have a decent life. But dude, I think the expectations, and this is where I wanted to talk about the spiritual side of this. Why is there some kind of spiritual influence, which I believe is satanic, discouraging these kids, victimizing these kids? Because number one, that's Satan's tool all the time, even for our generation. For me, you heard the abuse episode. You'll never be normal. You'll never amount to anything. You're a victim of not being raised normal. Or for anyone who's like in a hard position, we feel like we're a victim. No one wants. But dude, the guy that gets out of his comfort zone and just starts digging, sweating, working, opportunity. I'm just telling you, there's like another energy out there. Follows that guy. I mean, there was several years where I felt so insecure, like in my ability to provide. And then I got into my 40s and I'm getting calls all the time. Hey, do you want a job? Do you want to come run this? Do you want to come do that? Opportunity follows those who seek and create opportunity. More comes to that person. As you young people are like, so overwhelmed because how much houses cost. First off, you're giving up on life because of that, not even realizing the housing market's cyclical. It's going to either come down or interest rates are going to come down. And you're not going to be ready to strike while the iron's hot because you've been playing this victim card and spending all this money on Starbucks and all this stuff. And the reality of it is you should probably have 50 grand saved up for that time, plan for that time, right? And so I just want you kids to feel encouraged in your abilities and in the opportunities that abound out there. I mean, this is a terrible example, but I mean, girls are just putting pictures of themselves on the internet, making millions of guys. The opportunity did not exist to that realm for the boomers. It was get up, go to your factory job and work your butt off and never have more so that you could live in what, again, I've talked about this before, you guys, the average square foot home at the highest peak the world had ever known standard of living was 1,200 square feet. That family had one car. They had a tiny little television. You're already living better than that. And I think there's an evil spirit that comes over us that says, one, you're entitled to more, and two, you're a victim. And when you're a victim, you can't control your surroundings because you're a victim. You got to talk yourselves out of that. I mean, I want to get into doing more of this awareness, Travis, to encourage these young people. Get out and grab what you want, but get out of your comfort zone first. It's like, well, I'm not taking this opportunity because it's not the dream opportunity, or I'm not taking this opportunity because it doesn't pay enough. And my boss makes $1 million a year, and why am I only getting paid this? I had one guy I heard talk about. I saw a guy get fired that made $124,000, and there's only 6 of us in the office, and they didn't replace that position. That means my boss has $124,000. He could divide an extra $20,000 among the other 5 of us, and instead he's going to hoard it for himself. Go open a business. You don't have to be an employee. You begrudge your employee. Guys, there's spiritual danger there. Instead of me waking up grateful to God for my job and grateful to this man who, as a businessman, you guys, I'm telling you, you don't know what we risk and sacrifice to run our own businesses. You don't understand it. Most of you will never, ever do it. It's hard, okay? And so maybe we fire that guy, and instead of just giving it away, we set it aside for a rainy day because we know some weird thing's going to come up or some equipment's going to break down or something, but when you're not grateful anymore, when you're feeling entitled, I think those feelings come from Satan. And I think the victim mentality comes from
Satanism's principle. One of their principles is they really, in the church of Satan, they are focusing on their self, on their own gratification, on their own personal growth, they call it, but they, at the exclusion of really caring about others. It's really about what's in it for me. And that's one of the tenets of Satan. So when you say it's satanic, it kind of is. And I think that's where we are going in this life. We're being programmed by everything. I mean, I allow it in my life. I mean, the TV shows I watch,
yeah,
and we're being programmed to really focus on ourselves. You guys have heard this phrase, me time. I just need some me time.
Yeah.
right? If you think about what that means, like a lot of times mothers will use it about they don't want to be with their children, and I just need some me time. I need to set some time aside for myself. And look, I get it. Like we all need a break. I'm not going that far, but what I'm saying is that you can take anything too far, right? And you want to be in the middle. You've got to build yourself up. You've got to strengthen yourself and those things. However, if it becomes all about what's in it for me, the person the person that gets hurt the most is ourselves.
Yeah. Hey, I have been the victim. I have been the guy that sat and felt sorry for myself. I made a mistake so bad in my career once that I had suicidal thoughts. Like I cost my family in the millions of dollars. And there we are struggling to buy groceries, and I had just made a move. And yeah, dude, it's depressing. It's hard. I get it. Let's finish with 3 Nephi 13. We could go off on this for hours, and I'd love to have some young people on if you want to come talk about it. But here's 3 Nephi 13, 31 through 33. Therefore, take no thought, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or wherewithal shall we be clothed? For your heavenly Father knoweth that ye have need of all these things. But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. And I testify that's true. So when I say what you need to do first is get out of your comfort zone and do all this, that's what you do second. First, have faith in a plan that God has for you and your family. And if he wants you to own a home and wants you to be stable and you're going to work toward that, he will make that happen for you. All these things shall be added unto you that you need. I know one thing, and I'm going to open up and be vulnerable again. Just because I hope it helps people. And I've opened up and been vulnerable on this show, and I've had some messages that it helps people. So listen, some people think that I always had it easy because of my sales abilities. And I'll admit I'm very good at sales, very good at it. But I will tell you that I know my income was suppressed for over a decade by the Lord because I was not ready to have money. I know that. I know that.
I can see that.
I sabotaged my own income. I'm telling you, I know the Lord was involved with me not achieving what I wanted until I was spiritually ready to receive it. And if I had the income during certain years that other times I've had, it would have been toward my condemnation and my destruction.
I can see that. I've had that in my life. I had a wild year in 2005. And I think I started to really get into some worldly stuff.
And then you were Mr. My poo-poo doesn't even stink.
Bought a four-wheeler. That's the pinnacle.
You worldly sack of
That's the pinnacle, dude. You go and buy a freaking four-wheeler?
Four-wheeler, brand new one.
And I go four-wheeling.
Yeah, and you're like...
But I will say, like no joke, I think about that four-wheeler, and it's like, I'm half joking, but yeah, my eye wasn't singing to the glory like it was before I had that. And then guess what? I mean, I don't want to think it's all about me. But then that freaking financial collapse of 2007.
You got your face scraped along a rock road for months.
I was like, what am I going to do?
I was like, where's Travis's teeth going to end up?
Yeah. I had to be taught a lesson, dude. And
are you better for it?
Oh, yeah. I really think so. I mean, it led us to many things. I mean, we don't have time for it now. Maybe that'll be my big episode.
Hey, dude, this is great.
But,
so young people
we moved. We got to a place in Utah where our children were that we adopted, and just all these miracles happened. I met all these people. It was a wild ride. And then, I was able to coach people that were going through things. And when I talked to them, they knew that I knew what I was talking about when they were like, I feel bad for myself, or I'm struggling. I'm like, oh yeah, I get it. And then I'd give them some advice, and I brought some comfort to them. So yeah, I think that it's really important to, like you said, like you were held back on purpose, like trust in the Lord. We're pretty lucky in America in general. Like the poorest of us are doing pretty well. I know there's people struggling. I know there's people struggling, but
I've been to the projects in Cleveland Heights. I've been to government housing. I've seen where the hood is, and I've seen a clean African American mother trying to raise her kid by herself, window unit air conditioning, refrigeration, indoor plumbing.
Yep.
And I've lived in the jungles of Paraguay.
Right.
And I would pick the projects
For sure.
all freaking day.
For sure.
You know, like, so yeah, we are blessed, you know, and I think if you can't go to bed with gratitude in your heart and you're listening to all these narratives that it's not fair for you, your grandpa had it easier. One, I want you to remember when your grandpa was 55, he probably could have beat the crap out of you at your physical peak. Okay? Grandpas didn't have it easy. Those dudes were hard and tough and worked hard. I look at my grandpa. I remember my grandpa's hands, man. It looked like he had just scraped them along bricks his whole life. Just scarred up, hairy, tough knuckles.
I will
These guys
say
worked
this next
hard.
generation's grandpas, like AKA myself, aren't going to be that tough.
No.
They're like, what? You work
We
in the
had it
office
pretty
all the
easy
time?
too, but nowhere near as easy. I started the podcast. I know people are gonna be mad. Nowhere near as easy as you've got it. Go get it. Have faith. Work hard, you guys. Know that we live in a time of abundance. I was gonna start the next episode off with this. I'm gonna finish with what happened to me the other day because it kind of ties to money. I took my daughter on a grotesque back to school shopping spree. Like, dude, I can't believe. But hey, man, she's the only one left at home. She's going into high school. Got to have sick threads, you know? It's just the world they live in. So, feeling a little guilty about how much we have spoiled this little girl. If you knew her, though, she's an angel. But we're walking out, and we're talking about gratitude. And I'm going to try to present this in a way that makes sense because I know God was involved. I don't know what happened still. I stayed up all night thinking about it last night because I couldn't understand what happened all the way. But I'm walking out, and there's a Latina lady holding her baby in the parking lot right next to my car with tears streaming down her face. And I'm just like, all right, these are the opportunities you pray for. And I've told you guys while my son's on his mission, I promised my son, dude, I'm going to try to be as anxiously engaged in the work as I can so you and I are in this work together. So every day I pray for an opportunity to do missionary work or to, share the gospel, and I try to every day. So I'm walking out, and immediately I see, okay, here's my thing I pray for. So I'm going to check on this lady. And at first, I walk up to her and I say, are you okay? I didn't know if she'd been abused. I didn't know if her abusive husband's in the car. I don't know what scenario I'm walking into. So I kind of tell Kate, stand back. I don't know where we're at here. And she says, I'm okay. My car won't start. And I'm like, okay, is that all? She goes, I just need help. My car won't start. Okay. Well, there's another lady there with her car, moving her car. And all of a sudden I realized she had been recruited by this gal to jumpstart her car. She's in this fancy, brand new, like Suburban, probably $100,000 car, starting this beater old car for this poor Mexican woman. And I said, oh, okay, well, why don't I just help? Because I wanted to calm her down because I spoke Spanish. And the lady helping her didn't. And so I kind of put my hand on her back and pat this lady's back. And I'm like, it's going to be okay. And she's like, okay. And I was full of compassion because she was crying. She's definitely in a hard spot. And I never did find out what was happening. I tried, but anyway, I'll tell you what happened. But so I jumpstart the car, and she's got issues with the car. Like, it's not getting fuel. And so it's not just battery. And I'm like, pump your gas kind of a thing. And so she does, and it gets up, and the car starts. And she's happy. The car starts, and the Suburban leaves. And I knew my work wasn't done. And it was weird because this lady's baby, I swear, like, the baby, like, knew me. It's like a 1-year-old baby. Keeps reaching for me with these big smiles. And dude, I'm taken back to my mission where I loved these little Latina babies and would always hold them on my lap, and they're just adorable, And so I reach out for this lady's baby, and she hands me her baby. And I'm playing with the baby, and it's playing with this cute little baby. And I pat the lady's back again. I'm like, are you okay? Are you going to be okay? And she just kind of is crying, and she won't talk. And I go, I shouldn't say this in public. I know, so just judge me. But I'm trying to share something. So I had a ton of cash in my pocket because I was going to pay a body shop, a guy that fixes stuff, cash under the table. I was going to pay him cash. and he wasn't there. So I had quite a wad.
Because he keeps good records and he reports everything manually with
Yeah.
his.
And I don't know where he works. I don't know his full name.
Right.
Definitely don't know his EIN number.
Yeah.
But so I'm like, here, let me help you. And I pulled a wad of substantial for somebody in that situation and just hand it to her. And she breaks down and hugs. I've got her baby here. This is a strange Mexican woman. Buries her face in my chest and wraps her arms. And I hold this woman while she sobs in my chest. And I'm comforting her and I say, everything's going to be okay. Todo va a estar bien. Todo bien. And the baby's like, hey, you know. And she's too humiliated that I helped her.
Mm-hmm.
And I make her take the money.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you can buy a battery, you can fix your car, you can pay your rent. I don't care. Here you go. And she goes to put the baby back, and I'm like, Glenn, just leave her with some, let her feel dignified and just go.
Mm-hmm.
So I get in my car with my daughter, and we leave. And my daughter is like tearing. She doesn't even know what she just saw. She's just like, that was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, Kate, I said, I haven't felt love for a stranger like that, because I was crying, since my mission.
Mm.
It was so weird, dude. Overwhelmed with love for this woman and her baby. Like, she was probably in her 40s, You could just tell it's been hard. Like, I don't know if her husband had been deported. I don't know. I never got to the bottom of it. But I'm driving and I'm thinking of that feeling. And guys, it wasn't just I feel good because I helped a poor person. That's not what this was. This was a very real spiritual connection.
Well, in a way, she helped you.
Oh, dude, I guarantee. No, more than I helped her. Like, I couldn't stop thinking about it all night. I thought about it in bed. I didn't fall asleep till probably 3 a.m. because it really was this powerful spiritual connection to where, like, I just was overcome with Christ-like love for this woman and her baby. And to the point where I was guilty, like, I had more money. I could have given her. And so I started thinking about that. And so Ann picks my brain, like, you okay tonight? And so I tell her, and I'm like, yeah. And I tell her what happened. And she's like, oh, well, what's the matter? And I said, I think we're all under condemnation, honey. And she's like, what? And I'm like, we have too much. There's people that are really hurting. I said, as soon as we're ready to, like, retire, I think we need to take, like, half of everything we make and just find people to help. Like, I think I want to go to God and be like, hey, man, I know I was a wasteful steward and I bought too much crap and wasted, but I try. At least I don't want to go up there with millions of dollars. I know that.
Yeah.
Where he's got these children, they're probably all around us, man. That need help. And this does not mean that I'm going to vote for socialism, because I don't want to give all that money to the government and then have them spend 90% of it on
Don't make
their
it political.
friends.
That'll ruin it.
No, and then 10% to the poor people. I
Yeah.
want to give it directly to them.
Yeah.
So again, I've told you before, I believe in socialism when Christ runs it, or when it's handled correctly.
I think it reminds me a little bit of the Good Samaritan, and like sometimes we're the was the priest that went by, and he couldn't touch him because he's there too dirty, and he would be unclean if he touched him. And then what was the other one? The other one, he was like in a hurry or something, and some of them that one I'm really guilty of.
A Levite.
Well, you had the Levite that couldn't touch him because that would make him unclean, right?
Yeah,
and then you had the other one that was,
right?
yeah. But anyway, I always think maybe I'm even making it up, but there was one that was just like couldn't because they were busy. They just had other things to do, and I often think that's me. I'm like, I got to get to work because I have 7 kids and it is a lot of responsibility, but sometimes maybe I over prioritize that even to their detriment, because I think about, you just mentioned Kate witnessing this.
No,
and
dude, I almost wonder if the whole thing was for Kate.
Yeah, to see
all
that.
I know is there was something deeper happened there. It wasn't a byproduct of what happened. This was a situation engineered.
You were placed.
Dude, she's right next to my car. There's powerful spiritual connection. And I don't want any accolades for helping someone, guys. Please know that that's not me. I'm not sharing because of that. I'm sharing because it opened my eyes to, like, Hugh Nibley, man, stuff. It's like, we have a lot of Latter-day Saints. Like, guys, I have friends that are worth 10 million, 20 million, 100 million people, not friends, people I know in the business world, and they're still pursuing money. And it just made me really rethink everything. I'm like, dude, we really should have no one going without in this state. Like,
Yeah.
it's just something to think about.
That's a pretty hippie concept, Glenn.
Well, and guys, as we talked, this whole episode was about opportunity and money. I really hope that, we need more people out producing. If you want to do good in this world, the Good Samaritan wasn't broke. He
Yeah,
wasn't at home
that's true.
complaining about how high rents were and how the boomers had it easier. He was self-reliant. He had the money to buy a hotel room to help the guy. He had the physical strength to carry the guy. Like, we need people out trying to succeed.
Yeah, easy. Don't be talking about physical preparedness.
Well, me and you together could carry a guy.
Yeah.
Like
A skinny
both
guy.
of us. Yeah, a skinny guy.
Yeah.
So anyway, I share that story. I want you to think about all this stuff and remember the 500-year plan. 500 years from now, your rent's not going to matter. If you owned a home's not going to matter. Riley, I love you, son, and I'm so proud of you. And I look at you stressed out at 25 that you don't own a home yet.
Yeah, relax, dude.
And I'm like, bro, you're okay. Because
Relax, Rouse.
I bought my house when I was like 30, I think, or 29. You'll buy a house. In the next 5 years, you'll have enough money and rates will come. It's going to be okay. It's going to work. But I want you guys to stay positive.
Well, let's I love that, Glenn, you bring up the 500-year plan, and I think, he's speaking specifically to Riley. I think that's good, but all of us can keep things in perspective. I think we lose perspective. We're looking at our social media. We're comparing ourselves to these rich people, or not even rich people like us, but it's their best moment. And then we're like, I don't always feel like that. And so, yeah, think 500 years in the future, what will matter and what won't matter. Do the things that will matter. So,
Yeah, those social media posts, like if there's anywhere I don't look fat, I'm just sucking it in, you guys.
yeah,
It's a lie.
Don't be jealous of Glenn's
Don't be
looks
jealous.
and
I'm
his
like
haircuts
literally like sucking it in. Like, yeah, how
and
you
his
take a
amazing
picture?
haircuts. But anyway, the Extra Mo Show. We love you guys.
We love you. Go get
Like
it.
us, follow us, subscribe. You can rip on us and tell us that we don't know anything. We don't care.
Pay your tithing.
Pay your tithing. Work hard. Take it easy.